Price per square foot is one of the first metrics I look at as a former real estate appraiser. It tells you the base cost of the space in the market. It strips away the emotional stuff like paint color, type of countertop, the look of the backyard, and it gets down to what you're actually paying for, the livable area. When you're comparing two cities in different countries with different currencies, different property types, and market cycles, price per square foot gives you apples to apples as a starting point. Before we dive in, if you're new to the Denver or the Vancouver areas, or are planning to move to either, and you'd like some real-world advice, please reach out via my contact details below. My colleagues and I work with clients relocating to Denver and to Vancouver all the time, and we'd be happy to help ease that process for you too. Okay, let's start with Denver. All prices mentioned here for this city will be in USD. As of mid-2026, Denver is trading roughly in the 300 to 400s per square foot on recent sales data for investment areas, but neighborhood variation can be significant. So what does that mean in real numbers? According to Realtor.com, at $500,000 in Denver, you're often looking at a larger condo, townhome, or a smaller single-family home in neighborhoods like Aurora, Lakewood, or Inglewood. At $700,000, you move into stronger neighborhoods like Washington Park, Highland, or parts of Capitol Hill. You're still getting a good single-family home or a larger townhome or a high-quality attached product with garage parking and a stronger appeal. Now at $1 million in Denver, you're now in premium territory. Think Cherry Creek, Baker, better parts of Washington Park, and maybe even Congress Park. That kind of budget can buy you a larger detached home, a luxury townhome, or a high-end condo, depending on the micro location and product type, according to Redfin. Switching gears to cash flow now, it is still possible to find a cash flowing property in some areas of Denver based on market rents. According to Rent Cafe, current Denver market rental data shows roughly $1,500 for a one bed, $2,000 for a two bed, and $2,500 and up for 3-bed units. This tells me mid-market housing in Denver can still cash flow versus coastal markets like Vancouver, which we'll talk about in a minute. Denver is not without its challenges. Property taxes have gone up, insurance costs in Colorado have increased, and the market has softened from its pre-pandemic peak. This softening, however, actually creates opportunities for buyers if you know where to look. So please reach out if you're moving to Denver, and if you'd like to learn more, check out my Denver Property Analyzer spreadsheet below. Now, let's cross the northern border and look at Vancouver, BC. All prices discussed here will be in Canadian dollars. Vancouver is still one of the most expensive real estate markets in North America, mainly because it's beautiful, it's landlocked by mountains and ocean, and it's highly regulated. It's more accurate to talk about Vancouver by product type and submarket rather than by a single citywide price per square foot. Before we dive in, I have a free deal analyzer spreadsheet for BC that you can download below so you can run these numbers on any BC property. Now let's get into it. Metro Vancouver apartment benchmark pricing was around $700,000 in May 2026, according to the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. Strong condo neighborhoods often run above $1,000 to $1,200 per square foot. At $500,000 in Greater Vancouver, you're definitely not buying a house. You're more likely looking at a very constrained studio apartment or an older entry-level unit, depending on building age and its location. At $700,000, you move into a solid 1-bedroom or a tight 2-bedroom condo in areas like Mount Pleasant, East Van, or even Kitsilano. And in the suburbs, you may find a more spacious condo or a townhome option. At $1 million in Vancouver, now you're talking about a better 2 or 3-bedroom condo in a desirable area, a townhouse, or a much older detached home, usually the ones that are going to be knocked down so buyers can build a new home. For nicer detached homes around $1 million, you're going to have to go way further out into the suburbs like Abbotsford, Chilliwack, and other areas in the Fraser Valley. Now here's the honest truth about Greater Vancouver for US-based investors. There is currently a foreign buyers ban in busy urban areas until January 1st, 2027. It's nuanced, but typically it means you can't buy in cities with more than 10,000 residents. You can look at less populated areas. However, entry costs are higher and there is a 20% foreign buyer's tax in BC. So check with your accountant for US tax implications on foreign properties. Now for basic info on this, you can check out my video on how to buy a property in BC for non-Canadian investors. But suffice it to say, the regulatory environment is more complex and cash flow margins are usually much tighter. That doesn't make it a bad market necessarily, but it does mean you need to go with your eyes open and all extra fees accounted for in your calculations. Let's do a side-by-side comparison now of Denver versus Vancouver. So Denver in US dollars. Price per square foot is roughly in the mid $300 to $400 for investment-friendly areas. $500,000 buys you a condo, smaller townhome, and a detached home in lower cost areas. $700,000 buys you a stronger Denver neighborhood like Washington Park, Highlands, or Capitol Hill. $1 million buys you a premium home, luxury townhouse, or a high-end condo in places like Cherry Creek or Washington Park. The average rent for a 2-bedroom is roughly $2,000, and for a 3-bedroom, $2,500 for more. Cash flow potential is moderate to good. Regulatory complexity is lower here than in BC markets. Now, for Vancouver, let's talk in Canadian dollars. Price per square foot is often around $1,000 or above in desirable submarkets. $500K potentially can buy you a small entry-level condo. $700K now gets you into the 1 to tight 2 bedrooms in the Mount Pleasant or East Van area. $1 million will buy you a luxury 2 to 3 bedroom condo, a townhouse, and potentially a detached home further out in the suburbs or in the Fraser Valley. Average rent is higher than it is in Denver, but purchase prices are often much higher too. Cash flow potential is really tight without a strategy, and the regulatory complexity is higher, especially for US buyers. Higher rents in Vancouver don't automatically mean better returns because your purchase price is also much higher. Your yield percentage is what matters here. And on that metric, Denver currently wins for most investors working with under $1 million. But Vancouver has something that Denver doesn't: a long track record of appreciation and constrained land supply. So, where does this all leave you? Well, it depends on what you're optimizing for. If it's cash flow right now, Denver is worth a serious look. If it's long-term appreciation with a Canadian foothold, Vancouver requires more capital up front, but it has a different kind of upside. Again, feel free to reach out if you have questions on either location, and always chat with a professional for legal, accounting, and real estate advice for your specific situation. If this was useful, please subscribe and get more investing ideas, and drop in the comments whether you're leaning towards Denver or Vancouver, or whether you're still figuring it out. Until next time, keep using those property analyzers, and I'll see you in the next video.